Thanks, Premier. Firstly, to speak to the 12 days of zero, that's a very good result. Obviously, that doesn't mean we formally close the Blackrock cluster and the other unknown source case that we had around the same time. But 12 donut days is fantastic. A dozen donuts really means that I'm quite confident that we're on top of this. The secret, it's no secret really, but the essence of why we've gotten on top of the Blackrock cluster is really our approach to close contacts. The primary close contacts get quarantined. Their contacts, so the contacts of contacts, are quarantined as well. That meant that at the peak of it, there were over 4,500 people in quarantine, but it also means that we were always ahead of those contacts. They were always quarantined. When somebody else turned positive, there weren't new exposure sites. It didn't trickle along because we got ahead of the curve, and that really gives me the confidence that the Blackrock cluster is looking fantastic, and I don't expect additional cases out of that really. And if there are, they'll be in the few remaining people who are finishing their quarantine period and won't lead to new exposure sites or new transmission. In terms of the situation on the Victoria-New South Wales border, clearly it's a good epidemiological situation. I hope that the green zone designation means that people can feel confident to go to those border areas for tourist purposes, and that it's a bit easier on those residents for a number of reasons. With respect to the pre-existing red zones in New South Wales, obviously all but 10 local government areas, mostly focused around the mid-western suburbs of Sydney, go to orange. Those remaining LGAs are really where the exposure sites are, where the remaining cases and remaining transmission is. Of course, we all hope that there's success in terms of getting on top of transmission in those remaining LGAs. Of note, in addition to Blue Mountains and Wollongong, the Northern Beaches has come off those LGAs. That's really because the Avalon cluster also appears to be one that's inactive. So that's all a good sign. And the primary LGAs now are really related to the Berala cluster. There had been some additional cases recently, but they've again very likely been linked back to that BWS exposure. And so fingers crossed for the remaining suburbs in Sydney. And as the Premier says, they'll be reviewed every single day, both in terms of any new cases that will emerge or might emerge, and all of those wastewater results as well. Thank you.
Just on the